All right, it's time to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs, who continue to make great moves in the draft and free agency. And they signed a undrafted free agent, Justyn Ross, the wide receiver out of Clemson. A lot of people are calling this a huge steal for the Kansas City Chiefs. Miles, what's your take on this?
Yeah, Nick, I think if you take a step back, if this pans out, this will be the biggest steal of the draft because Justyn Ross is potentially a first round talent if he doesn't get injured. He has some crazy injury history, and it's very questionable what he's going to be able to do in the NFL. But he was able to come back from his injury. He was able to play at Clemson. He was able to be relatively productive, getting like 500 yards. Not too bad. But Justyn Ross at one point in time coming in was the best receiver in Clemson's receiver room, in a room that consisted of guys like T. Higgins, Hunter Renfrow. Ross was the number one guy. Ross was it. And giving Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes a weapon like this, they also got Sky Moore, but Justyn Ross is a huge receiver. 6'4", 205 pounds, big target, big catch radius, a great player. If he can stay healthy, this is a massive move for the Chiefs.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Ross was Trevor Lawrence's number one target. Ross's freshman and sophomore year at Clemson. He was very productive, 17 touchdowns combined between the 2 years. You mentioned his injuries, and he had the neck and severe spinal injury and had to go through surgeries and then broke his foot last year coming back from it after missing all 2021. You know what I love about Ross? How many guys have a rare spinal injury or condition, have to go through major surgery, and then break their leg? That's what he had, a stress fracture in his foot. So he literally broke his back, broke his leg essentially, had surgery, and comes back and is working his butt off to get on the field. It just seems like a high character guy that really, really wants to play football and really, really wants to get back to the level he was early in his career at Clemson. And this guy has all the physical tools. You mentioned he's 6'4", 200 pounds, was productive. I mean, I think the Chiefs once again got an awesome steal here. Justyn Ross is going to come in, and he may be a little slow to get going as he gets back into real football shape, coming off the broken leg and obviously trying to get fully back from the spinal issue. But I think you wait a year or two, this guy could be number one, number two receiver for Pat Mahomes.
This kind of reminds me a little bit more extreme case, but of like a Derek Stingley. A guy who came out and had an elite first year. Ross was pretty elite as a freshman. He led the nations in yards per route run. Then he got hurt. Then he failed to maybe get back up to that level. But like people say, you saw the talent. You saw the flashes. This is a guy who, if you pick him up in the third or fourth round, it's worth taking a flyer on. But you signed him as an undrafted free agent? This is 100% a good steal. And to pair him with a guy like Patrick Mahomes who can really use a receiver like this, I think this is an incredible move because if it pans out, you have your receiver of the future in Justyn Ross on a killer deal to allow you to sign a couple more pieces around that big Patrick Mahomes contract and allow you to go contend in the future. Getting signings like this is the key. This is the new Kansas City Chiefs way of trying to get to the Super Bowl. You can no longer afford the Tyreek Hills of the world, but you have Patrick Mahomes who can turn guys like Ross into the new weapons like Tyreek Hill was, don't you think?
Yeah, and I think the other part of this is the Kansas City's offense has always been about speed guys who can beat people with speed over the top or catch and run. And Ross, that really isn't his game. He wins jump balls. He uses his physical size and nature and his athletic skills to go out and get the football and bring it down. He's like Dez Bryant. I see he's like a Dez Bryant, an angrier Dez Bryant. It's one of the comparisons I had of him watching him at his best in Clemson. Pat Mahomes has never really had that guy in Kansas City. He's had a lot of fast guys, and they've had some problems against teams like against Tampa in the Super Bowl, who had physical corners and physical safeties and guys who could kind of disrupt the flow of the offense. You can't disrupt Ross when he's at his best. He's too big, he's too strong, he's too physical, he's too tough. And especially the fact that he's coming back from these injuries. He's tough on the football field, and he's tough as heck off the field. And he's going to come in. I think Pat Mahomes is going to fall in love with this guy right away, because there's going to be situations where Pat Mahomes, we saw it some last year, where he's trying to force the ball into tight coverage as receivers can't bail him out, because frankly, guys like Tyreek Hill, Tyreek Hill's an all-pro, he's a Hall of Famer, but he's not a big guy winning you tough contested passes. They brought in Valdez Scantling. They hope to be part of that, but I think Justyn Ross is even better at that. At least his potential certainly is there to be better.